There are a lot of sorcerer subclasses for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, but the question is, what's missing?
Well, Ted, if it's more Sorcerer Origins you're looking for over on D&D Beyond, we can pull up so many of them over in the Homebrew section.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds.
Now let's make some magic happen with these sorcerer subclasses.
All right, so we're going to go over the top 10 sorcerer subclasses for 5e D&D over on the D&D Beyond Homebrew, and you may be wondering, how is it we establish what are the top 10? Dun, dun, dun. Well, we use the filters to pick the most popular, the one that's been viewed the most in our opinion. Those are the things that people are looking at and seem the most interested. They may not be mechanically the best, and they may need a little work, but these are the ones that people want to look up and look at the most.
So you can find out more information about, this particular process, as well as even more options. We've got an article over on, the Nerdarchy webpage, Sorcerer Origins by a factor of 3. Check it out. Link is going to be down in the description below. And if you like these videos, you like these articles, but you'd like to help Nerdarchy keep making them, why not head over to Patreon and support us there?
As a special thank you, every month you'll receive 5e content for both players and DMs alike. You're going to get magic items, print and play cards for some of those magic items, races, classes, feats, spells, poisons, drop-in encounters, even a chance to game with Nerdarchy, and more. You'll find those links down in the description, as well as a sample of the different things that you receive from the Patreon rewards that you can just download for free. So I'm going to pull out my handy-dandy device here and pull up D&D Beyond Homebrew. I've already got it sorted. And I'm going to go over just a list of what is the top 10. Weighing in number 1, we got Blue Mage, Chronomancer, number 2, Teleporter, number 3, number 4, Stand Power, Winter Sorcery, Abyssal Infernal Sorcery, Archfey Bloodline, Daughter of the Hag, Pyromancer, Arcanist. Any of those jump out at any of you?
So we always take a look through here and we pick what we feel is, worth mentioning. It might not necessarily be the best in the number of views, but it's the one that we feel, deserves the most talking points.
Or what we're just happen to be interested in, to be honest with you. And this one that we picked was actually done by Dreaded Lord.
So we're looking at Winter Sorcery. Your origins, one of the few people could only try to guess at, to the best of their abilities by the patches of ice around your body and your glowing blue eyes. Either you were raised by a clan living in the frozen north, cursed by a magician who learned ice magic, or perhaps you are descendants of the powerful ancient sorcerers known as few as the Ice Queen. Whatever the case, you are a growing sorcerer whose powers resides within the manipulation and control of the winter breeze and the frozen ice. The ability to even freeze over flames, encase enemies in layers of ice, and cover the land in strong winter storms.
Yeah, so we found this one kind of intriguing, and the idea of ice magic and elemental magic we've always been a fan of that. So now looking at Ice Bloodline, your ancestor is a being who wielded ice magic. At first level, you have learned the Shape Water cantrip, which counts as a sorcerer cantrip for you. You may cast this spell using your bonus action rather than the actual action, and you can use its effect on any area of ice within range, including using it to unfreeze the ices. At first level, and again when you reach 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level in this class, you can choose a spell that is listed below. A spell you choose must be a level you can cast and is shown on the sorcerer table. The chosen spells count as a bonus spells for this sorcerer origin. So basically we have a list of spells, and the way it's written, it seems like you're going to get access to one of 2 spells at every level. You're going to get that cantrip that you can do as a bonus action. Shape Water is not like a super powerful spell, but the fact that you can unfreeze ice may actually come in useful, because if there's difficult terrain caused by ice, you can constantly be unfreezing it. But also if you're happen to be standing on a lake or something, it can then also be exploited as well. So that one is a little iffy. But I'm willing to keep going and see what we have. At first level, you get access to Fog Cloud or Ice Knife.
3rd, Snillick Snowball Swarm or Spike Growth.
5th, Sleet Storm Wall of Water.
7th, Ice Storm and Elemental Bane.
9th, Cone of Cold, Control Winds. So, I mean, there is a mitigating factor that you're only getting access to 1 spell instead of 2, where some of the other Sorcerer Origins just straight up give you access to both.
Right. We also have Icy Flesh. As ice flows through your body, it causes parts of your limbs and skin to be coated in bluish frosts. Your breath foggy out and hair turning pure white. At first level, you become resistant to cold and ignore difficult terrain in the form of snow or ice. Also, due to some of your body becoming coated in ice, you gain the added AC of 13 plus your Dex mod while not wearing medium or heavy armor. At 14th level, you become immune to cold damage.
So nothing here is game breaking. Getting the benefits you get to difficult terrain, super specific. I don't think that's a big deal. There's plenty of races and other classes that just get resistances to damage types, so that's not a big deal. There are also several different Sorcerer Origins that give you a different way of creating your armor class, so that's totally fine. And also, you get to play Iceman from the X-Men if you want to.
Indeed.
6th level Frostbite. Starting at 6th level, you can spend any sorcery points as part of casting a spell that deals damage. You may change the spell's damage type to cold. You also gain the following abilities. Freezing Touch. When you cast a cantrip that deals cold damage, add a bonus to that cold damage equal to your charisma modifier. Winter Blast. At any time that you cast a spell of level 1 or higher that deals cold damage, you can use a reaction to force a number of enemies that were affected by the spell to make a Constitution save throw equal to your spell save DC. On a failure, the creatures are stunned till the end of its next turn. You would then need either a short or long rest to regain this ability. It's kind of weird because it mentions sorcery points as part of the casting. Okay, it allows you to change the type. But it doesn't give like the number of how many sorcery points it costs per se.
Right.
So far this is pretty thematically, and the design is actually good. It does need a little help with the grammar, but conceptually I like it, and so far what we're doing with it is not too crazy. That Winter Blast and Freezing Touch, it really just it really kind of depends on the circumstances of I think Winter Blast is definitely something that should have a cost to it,
right?
Not just when you cast a cold spell,
right? So Frostbite, is you have to expend a sorcery point, and I believe it should be 1 for a cantrip, and then 1 per level of the spell for Wintry Blast. I think that's my interpretation there, but I don't know what they had as their design.
Yeah.
But that's not the only ability you're going to get at 6th level. You're also going to get Frozen Body. Your body now has undergone a massive change that causes you to remain the same for years, and your lifespan becomes longer. For every 10 years that pass, your body only ages 1 year, and you're immune to becoming magically aged.
So magically aged doesn't come up in the game very often, although we have seen the ghost, depending on what particular race you're playing. That could be brutal. But other than that, it's pretty much a ribbon ability, so that's fine. That's not a big deal.
I would agree.
Absolute Zero at 14th level. Your magical ice attacks can now deal more damage against even the toughest of enemies. When you cast a spell or use an ability that results in cold damage, you may ignore resistance to cold damage and deal half damage to foes with immunity to cold damage. Your cold-based attacks also gain an added damage of a die 6 plus your charisma modifier. Now, everything is fine except for probably the way it interacts with creatures that are immune. I haven't seen anything else in the game that really does that. Generally,
there are a couple of things that have been out there that offer the ability to, if something is immune to it, they can still, it drops it down to resistance.
I don't think I've seen that. I don't know which abilities I've seen where you can negate resistance.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a necrotic one for one of the subclasses, where you can maybe ignore immunity, but I don't think so. So that one I would have to double check and be like, all right, I'll play test this. Let's see how it comes up. Cold damage isn't super resistant or immune anyway, like some of the other things. So it might be okay, and you're also going to get an extra die 6 plus your charisma modifier on damage.
That's a bit weird, adding the charisma modifier is there, but the extra die of damage seems a little wonky to me. That's a bit of an alien.
Or it should be against one target. It should be there's definitely some areas if you change your magic missile to cold damage instead of force, you're adding your charisma modifier, you add this die 6. You could actually rack up a decent amount of damage. I mean, it is a 14th level ability.
It's there. 18th level, Blizzardy Tomb. You gain the ability to envelop you and an area around you in a magical aura with the appearance of a blizzard. As an action, you create a spherical aura with a radius of 40 feet centered at your location and can move with you for only 1 minute, though you can only move up to 10 feet for the duration. You are also unable to use any other actions as you are concentrating on this particular spell only and trying to maintain it for the duration. The aura is considered as magical difficult terrain, and inside of it, creature sight beyond 10 feet is blocked by the blizzard. The aura heavy snow and strong winds makes the aura count as heavily obscured for any creature trying to perceive what's inside. You can decide any number of creatures of your choice to be immune to all of your aura effects. On each round, any enemies that were within their radius from the start or enter the radius must make a con save equal to your spell save DC or get dealt 6d10 cold damage and become petrified within a large stone of ice for 1 minute, for which then the ice melts. A creature killed by this spell instantly becomes frozen statue until it thaws. If any enemy that is encased gets attacked by one of your friends, they gain advantage against the frozen target. However, afterward, the enemy is then free from imprisonment as a result. At the start of each of your turns, the enemies can make a strength save throw and attempt to break free. If success, they burst out from the ice and have escaped. Once free, the enemies will no longer have to make a Constitution saving throw, though will still be hampered by the other effects such as difficult terrain and heavily obscured vision for the next 24 hours. The spell can end early by using an action to let go of the spell. Once you use the ability, you need to do a long rest to gain it back.
I think this ability's okay. I mean, the wording is a little wonky and needs to be restructured a little bit. For the level of the ability, it's not too bad. 6d10, 18th level ability, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Make a saving throw every round to break free, that's fine. I think you're going to take that damage every round until you make that save. That can be tough. You are technically concentrating on it. It's all you can do. And then also, I imagine, your concentration can be broken as well.
Right. And then, the ability to select your friends to be immune to the condition, is kind of cool. It's outside of the realm of what the sorcerer typically does. But, 18th level ability, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a sorcerer meta magic that lets you do that. So I don't think that's too big a deal. All in all, I like this. I like this this subclass and this origin. I like the idea of a cold themed sorcerer anyway. This particular one, it just needs a little tweaking, and this is almost ready to go at my table.
Yeah, to me, the biggest issue is that Wintry Blast and just setting the number of sorcery points for that, since it's got the ability to technically stun creatures.
Yeah, that part is super important. I mean, but it's not like we haven't seen other things that stun in the game anyway. So it's not a big deal. It's just a little bit of tweaking here and there. I think this would be fun. It'd be thematic. And also I could see definitely doing a bit of world building in your game just based off of the Sorcerer Origin.
And thematically with it, like they talk about, this Ice Queen is a legendary being. So like that is already world building in a part of it anyway.
Yeah. So Dreadlord, thumbs up. Keep going. Hopefully you put out some more subclasses. This was pretty good. And with that, what do you folks think? Would you allow it in your game? Have you made some Sorcerer Origins over on D&D Beyond and you want to share your homebrew with the rest of the Nerdarchy community? Let us know.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those cool things that make Nerdarchy and the YouTube happy. Like, share, subscribe, even, head over to that notification bell and click, click, click.
Quick reminder, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we drop new videos on the channel. Hey, can't wait till then? No problem. Check the card up here, and you can check out the last D&D homebrew top 10 video we did for the Ranger.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.